After a terrible tragedy like the latest shooting in California, everybody wants answers. Emotions are running very high and people are demanding solutions. If you listen to some of the lyrics in music these days, you can see how young people can get violent ideas in their heads. But does violent music actually cause people to act out violently? Well, John Poland of the Town Hall Foundation says there is a direct link between violent music and violent acts, and he can prove it. John, welcome to Smart Life. Good to have you.
Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to be on the show.
Now, I have to ask you right after, and I first have to make a confession, and that is that I, as an adult, okay, by myself, do enjoy the sound of some of the music you're talking about, even some of the music that has lyrics in it that I think are maybe less than respectful for women and things like that, only because it's like a release for me, maybe a bad habit. I don't know. I'm just going to confess that right now. So I am especially interested, as somebody who studies these types of precipitors to violent behavior, somebody who has a history in studying these items, as well as somebody who actually likes this music. I wanted to have you on the show because I want you to talk about what your foundation has learned through some of their studies about the impact on children.
Well, thank you. We started the foundation in 2006, and with the proliferation by the folks at Apple and iPods and such, and looking at the music. And by the way, we're not talking a particular genre of music. In a moment, I'll talk about country and pop and rap. They all have problems, and it's the actual lyrics of a song that is directly tied to bad behavior and childhood development. And that's what we've discovered. I'll start with that, and we actually have posted 6 academic studies, and we've condensed them so you can read them. But they show the detrimental cause and effect of these lyrics on our children. These aren't opinions. These aren't like, I like the song or I don't, and that was your point. I had a great conversation with my pastor, and he says, I like rap music, but not all rap music.
Right.
The study, one of them that I'll just share with you, was completed by Wingood and D. Clemente, which assessed the exposure to rap music on health risk behaviors of adolescent women. Over 500 of the kids participated in the study. Exposure to rap music was assessed after 6 months and again after 12 months. The authors found that at the 12-month follow-up, these subjects with greater exposure to rap music, that's all they compared it to at the time, were 3 times more likely to have hit a teacher, more than 2.5 times more likely to have been arrested, twice as likely to have had multiple sex partners, and more than 1.5 times greater to have contracted a new sexual disease than those subjects with lower rap exposure. So at the foundation, what we're doing is posting the criteria that we use to evaluate the music. Has nothing to do with rap music or any other category specifically, because lyrics we're now finding are crossing over. And I'll give you 3 specific examples before I give you the criteria. And that came from the Grammys this year. Number 1 song was Royals by Lorde. And if I looked at that on my chart, she fails because she's got 2 direct references to drugs, 2 to violence. Next was number 2 was Blurred Lines by Robin Thicke. He's got a drug reference which is inappropriate, and he's got 5 references sexually that are inappropriate. And at number 6, Starting from the Bottom by Drake. And he had 17 direct references using hate speech.
You know, it's interesting though, because I want to back up just for a minute and say, you know, how do you advise parents? I mean, you can say don't let your children listen to this music, but I mean, Royals by Lorde, you can't hardly go in a department store without hearing that song in all reality.
Well, that is correct. So what you're asking is, how can I control that language? We're going to create this database of all the songs that have inappropriate language that impacts childhood development. I'm going to share that with the iTunes, the Amazons, and the rest of the people who sell music, and ask gently for them not to broadcast it, to sell it, to do anything with it, to get it off their shelves. Much like if you looked at CVS Pharmacy, they decided they were going to be in the well-being business, not just a drugstore, and they pulled tobacco products. They didn't want to be associated with that. So there's history and direct points of why they would do that. I don't want to have any problems with an artist and say that we want to be censoring. But by the way, just because you write something doesn't mean I want to buy it from you.
So you aren't talking
and that's why we're going to
specifically.
take it, in a sense, off the music shelf.
Okay.
And not let it be available to our kids. This is going to be a long-term process.
I see.
We know
So you're
that.
you're really
But if
talking
we don't
about.
start something like the cigarette industry in the 1960s. We had studies that says if you smoke, you get cancer.
Yeah,
It took
maybe
the
you
United
can't hear me,
States
but I really
society-
want to ask you a couple of questions. So you're not talking about censorship because you said that. You're not talking about banning this music. You're really talking about producing a body of research that informs people who care to not expose children to this. That may be a healthier way to go about playing music is looking at this research and statistics, and I get that. But one aspect I haven't heard you mention at all. A lot of times when there's a killing, especially kind of a witchcraft, culty, freaky, they listen to this acid rock music that's very disturbing in this kind of devil voice. You've got 1 minute left, so you have to be quick here. But have you looked at any of that at all to look for indicative music / behavior outcomes?
Dr. Gina, we have all genres are bad or can have bad music, and that's what I'll just stop with that. I can relate 3 different examples. I guess you're getting ready. We have to go, but of where the music lyrics caused the violence and death of many people.
And so your study has shown that there is a direct correlation, and your hope is sort of like a cigarette warning label, trying to hope to get people, and parents especially, but also businesses, to be aware and a little more conscientious of what they might be playing in their businesses or selling. Yes?
That would be a very correct summary. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Well, folks can, of course, find out more about this. The Town Hall Foundation is the name of your organization. Where can they find you?
They can find us at www.thetownhallfoundation.org, and that's as simple as it. You can read everything we've got, and we ask for your generous support.
All right, and you contacted my producer after you saw me on Hannity, so thanks for watching that. I appreciate your reaching out to us and letting us know about this very important issue. If there is a connection, we certainly do want to know it, especially as parents and as advocates for our children.